Welcome, Rivals, to another episode of Game Rivals. I'm your host, Maximilian X, coming to you from Nintendo Indie World and Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase land. This is an episode going to be dedicated to that because that dropped the day before this episode goes live. Assuming this episode goes live as it's intended. A whole bunch of things. Basically, this is a take two of sorts. My apologies. So if this episode went out a little bit late, my apologies. If it went out on time, I doubt it, but yeah, that would be nice. But no. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to dilly-dally too much because Nintendo, in their infinite wisdom, decided to drop two presentations on us on the same day, back-to-back, an Indie World and a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase for a total of 40 minutes. If you want to see all of that was announced, you go to Nintendo website, you'll find it there, I'm sure. You'll also find it on their YouTube channel. You can watch it there in full. I also did a full reaction to it on my Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/Maximilian_X, link in the description. And I'm just going to talk about some of the games that I thought were interesting, maybe stuff that you might have overlooked or why one might think that it's worth giving a shot whenever they come out or if they are out already. So let's start with the Indie World because that's what they started with. So we're going to start off with Baltro getting in free update, which is live right now. One of the first things, and it was a shadow drop already. So this is an update. It's not DLC. It's just an update called Friends of Jimbo, which has them collaborating with 4 other franchises. One is The Witcher 3, which that's a big get. The other one is Vampire Survivor, Dave the Diver, and Among Us. And basically what it is that the game changes not only in theming, but also in gameplay. So with The Witcher 3, you see a little bit of Gwent in there. Vampire Survivor has the randomized chests mechanic from Vampire Survivor. Dave the Diver has, the fish in there, and Among Us actually has the animations of like killing a crewmate. So that's kind of fun. I'm actually kind of curious about that one. I was already wanting to pick up Balatro because people were like, oh yeah, like Pocket Card Jockey kind of looks like Balatro, and Balatro is also really good. And like that one came out of nowhere earlier this year. So the fact that they're putting out a free update with all this collaboration content in there, and they're teasing in the trailer for possibly more collabs down the road, is going to be fun on a bun. So yeah, that one is live. I'm pretty sure it's also live on all the other platforms. So if you have Balatro and you haven't played in a while, good time to go back. The next thing that I want to talk about is Sea of Stars is getting a free DLC in early next year. I think it was February, or at least spring of next year, called Sea of Stars Throes of the Watchmaker, and it has this kind of carnival aesthetic. There's a new character that's introduced, which kind of reminds me of Robo from Chrono Trigger, which makes sense because they are a big fan of 16-bit RPGs. So having kind of like a throwback to that character kind of makes sense. So you have 3 characters that you can play as now, and the 2 main characters have new jobs. One of them is an acrobat, and the other one is a juggler, I wanted to say. I don't remember. But it looks super cool. I mean, Sea of Stars already look cool, and this just gives me another excuse to play Sea of Stars. Neva was another game that was announced. Neva is a game made by the same developers of Gariss. You can really tell by the art style when you see it. It looks gorgeous. It looks melancholic, maybe with a hint of existential dread in it and slight hints of horror. But it looks really pretty. It looks really cool. That one is also due to come out actually pretty soon, October 15th. So look forward to that one as well. If you loved Gris, you'll love Neva. Then there was another game that they announced a bit early on. I didn't make a note of this, but it was pretty significant. So I wanted to drop it in here as well. So if you remember a while ago, there was this game that dropped, I think like a year or so ago, called Coffee Talk, and it was received pretty well. It's this coffee shop simulator where you get to know your patrons You make their orders for them to their specification. It kind of reminds me of the anime Bartender, which recently got a remake, where it's basically kind of the same formula where you're learning about your customers and like talking with them, you're having conversations with them, you're getting to know them better, you're making them drinks. So it's kind of like that. They had a sort of pseudo sequel a while after launch, and unfortunately, one of the developers passed away. I think before the expansion kind of thingy dropped, but they came back together and were like, "Hey, people love this, and we love this, and like to uphold the other developer's legacy, we wanted to make a new game, and that one is Coffee Talk Tokyo, which takes place in Tokyo. You have these funky characters like fox girls and like oni looking dudes and stuff like that. It looks really interesting. I mean, the premise is still the same, except it's in Tokyo, and you have these mythical looking like people and creatures that you're interacting with as well. I do not remember when that is actually supposed to come out. Let me look at it real super quickly. I think there might have been a date. I'm not sure. No, it's just in development, so it's coming in 2025. That's all it is. Coming in 2020. That's all we know about Coffee Talk Tokyo. The last game that I want to talk about in the indie world segment is a game called Morsels. And this game looks super funky. It's published by Annapurna, and Annapurna kind of never misses when it comes to publishing indie games. This one looks super weird. Kind of looks like a roguelite where you play as a mouse that can transform, I want to say, into different things. The first thing you see it transform into is a pile of poop. So that's the kind of aesthetics that we're working with here. The characters, the creatures in this world all look kind of disgusting and gross. But the aesthetics of the game itself are freaking gorgeous, like beautiful parallaxing effects and stuff like that. It looks really cool, but at the same time, the world looks like this post-apocalyptic kind of place where you keep getting more junk, and the junk allows you to transform into different creatures. It also kind of reminds me of the Super Nintendo game, Search for Eden, Evo Search for Eden. If you don't know that one, hi, welcome to my channel, and also you're probably young because yeah, it's a Super Nintendo game. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool. I've played it in the past. It's a really fun game about evolution in the most simplest form. So yeah, that one it feels like that. It's an isometric game. Again, it feels like it's probably a roguelite coming out in February 2025. So that's pretty cool. That's not too far. It's still a little ways off, but it's not too far. At least it's not just 2025. So yeah, that's the indie world done. Which yeah, there were some other stuff in there as well for the indie world. They showed off a new Pico Park 2. They showed off a new DLC for Power Wash Simulator, which cool. Wait, was that in this one or was that in the partner showcase? I actually don't remember. Yeah, so there are a bunch of things shown off there that were actually not too bad. Basically what I expected it would be. I gave it a solid C plus. Actually, yeah, a solid C plus for that showcase. Then we had the partner showcase, which was the thing that I was looking forward to the most. And oh boy, at least for me, it did not disappoint because there were things in there that I did not expect. And the funny part is, I did predict one thing correctly for this partner showcase. I predicted that we would get a date for Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, but we'll get to that. First thing I want to talk about is the first thing that they showed off for the Partner Direct, which is a new Tetris game celebrating the 40th anniversary of Tetris, called Tetris Forever, which covers 9 Tetris games from the past. Which, oh boy, I really wish I had written down what it is. I just wrote down 9 games plus new Tetris mode, Tetris Time Warp, which is pretty cool. Tetris Time Warp actually does look pretty friggin' cool because it is essentially, you're still playing Tetris, obviously, but it is Tetris played through, how do you call it? You're playing through the ages. Sorry. You're playing through the ages of Tetris. So it is Tetris, and then once you, I think once you get a Tetris, it shifts to like a different version of Tetris. So the what they showed off was like Tetris, ASCII Tetris, so like PC Tetris from back in the day, and then Tetris Game Boy, and I think Tetris NES, and Tetris Bombless. Yeah, I know, Bombless. Like this is the first time I've ever heard of Tetris Bombless, by the way, because I don't know if I'm the only one, but yeah, it looks absolutely sick. There's the list. All right, so the games that are in there is like Tetris, NES Tetris, Hatris, never heard of that one. Tetris 2 Plus, Super Bombless DX, another version of Tetris that I do not recognize, Super Tetris 2 plus Bombless, Super Tetris 2 plus Bombless, I think Deluxe, and Super Tetris 3. Those are the 9 games included alongside the new mode. It also comes with documentary clips of the Tetris franchise, how it got started, blah blah blah, and some new stuff apparently, which I'm assuming people have never seen before. So I don't know what that's about, but there are documentary clips in there. That's pretty cool, which is coming out sometime this year. Alongside that, they're also bringing out the NES Tetris specifically for Nintendo Switch Online this winter, and they're also going to be doing a Tetris 99 Grand Prix based off of Tetris Forever. Tetris Forever, yeah. Also this winter, so look forward to that as well. So they announced a couple of stuff. They showed a trailer with like highlight reels. They showed off, I think, Epic Mickey in that highlight reel, and then they showed off some new games that are coming out. One of them is a new Atelier game. If you're an Atelier fan, this one will probably take you a little bit aback because it's a bit darker. I don't remember the title because I didn't make a note of it. But then there was an image shown on the screen, and the image that was shown on the screen was Terry and Ryu. And I was like, so in my mind, bear in mind, we've had a lot of fighting game stuff come out and announced over the past couple of weeks, especially with Evo. One of the things is, of course, that something that we already knew, Terry is coming to Street Fighter 6. So seeing Ryu and Terry, I was like, Street Fighter 6? And then they showed the footage. It's like, wait, that is not Street Fighter 6. That is a classic game. That looks like Capcom versus SNK. And it was Capcom versus SNK. And Capcom versus SNK 2. And then it hit. This was a new Capcom Fighting Collection. And sure enough, the title showed up, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. And then, as they were starting to show off the games, they went off. Capcom versus SNK. Capcom versus SNK 2. Project Justice. I was like, oh my God. And I almost cried. Again. Project Justice. I was like, what? No! Wait, where's Rival Schools? Because Project Justice is essentially a sequel to Rival Schools. No Rival Schools, but for some reason, they had Capcom Fighting Jam in there, aka Fighting Evolution, which apparently is notoriously a bad game. That's in there, but no Rival Schools. You know what is there though? Power Stone 1 and 2. And something called the Plasma Sword, which I never heard of. Apparently another fighting game built on the Naomi/Dreamcast board. I never freaking heard of this game. It's a thing. It exists. It's also taking up a slot, which I feel like should have gone to Rival Schools. Because Project Justice is a sequel. Why would you not have the first game there like you do for Power Stone? And I get it. Power Stone 1 and 2 are pretty different games. For the most part, they are still arena fighters, but whereas Power Stone 1 is 1v1, Power Stone 2 is a free-for-all 4-player game, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm really glad it's there. I'm happy, but I wish we also got Rival Schools. This is coming out in 2025. And after that, they showed us the release date for Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. So everybody was already hyped. You can already imagine. Yeah, so Capcom versus Marvel vs. Capcom Collection is coming out first digitally on September 12th, so that's literally around the corner, and then physically in November of this year. So here's my advice to people that are interested in this game. If you want this game and you know that the license will eventually expire once again, pick up the physical version. Either be patient and pick up the physical version, or if you have money to splurge, get the digital version as well when it drops, or wait until it's on discount. Either way, you're good. But if you really want these games, pre-order. Like, I know saying pre-order is bad. It's bad. Don't usually I would say don't do it. This is one of those rare occasions I say pre-order is good. Pre-order the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, because you don't know when that will be out of print and will never come back again. It has happened before in the past. I don't expect it to not happen again. So I am telling you this right now. If you are truly into Marvel vs. Capcom and all those other games in that collection, just pre-order the gosh darn physical copy. You will thank yourself later. As long as they don't bring up like a day one patch or something. Should be fine. But if you really want to play it now, get the digital version. Or wait for a discount on the eShop or PlayStation Store or on Steam. Because, Steam always has the discounts. So that is the Capcom Power Hour. Then they also dropped another shadow drop, which is Castlevania Domino's Collection. How did I say Domino's? Dominus Collection, which is the DS Castlevania games. So Dawn of Sorrow. Am I saying that correct? Yeah, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia. 3 fantastic Castlevania games. Perfect fit for that Castlevania Advanced Collection that you probably bought during the recent discounts in the summer sales. So now you have the complete saga of Metroidvania Castlevania games that were put out, before Lord of Shadows. I'm not a fan of Lord of Shadows. I know it's good. I'm just not a fan. So that's good. It came out, it's shadow dropped, so you can pick that one up right now. Another thing that I just wanted to give a shout out mention is, so EA, I don't know, went through their archives or saw how Cozy Games were doing and hey, we have Cozy Games, or we had Cozy Games. Let's put them in a bundle and bring it out in 2024 when nobody asked for this. So now we're getting My Sims Cozy Bundle, which were, I think, 2 My Sims games for the Wii that are getting a bundled release in the year of our Lord 2024, and it's coming out this November 19th. And it's who asked for this? Who asked for this? I didn't ask for it. I don't think any other Cozy gamer even knew it existed. Again, these are games that are at least 15 years old. You tell me. We didn't get an update yet on Stardew Valley, and you know what? That's fine. It's one developer doing all the work. I can respect that. I can be patient. But who asked for this? Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And the last thing that I do want to talk about, they did announce a few other things, which I guess we can give an honorable mention. So they did announce, or Bandai Namco announced a port of Tales of Graces F Remastered, which was a PlayStation 3 game, and originally came out on Wii as Tales of Graces, and then I don't think that actually got a Western release. And then they released a Western version, Tales of Graces F, which was a enhanced version for PlayStation 3. So that already got a re-release, and I think it got another re-release after that. And now it's coming back again as a remaster. And it makes me go so apparently this is for the 35th anniversary or something for the franchise, which makes me go okay, cool, but why not just do a remaster of Tales of Destiny? Or you don't even have to make it super pretty. Just make it a bundle release and just put it out. Tales of Destiny 1, translate Tales of Destiny 2, put it out as a bundle and just do that. You don't have to make it HD 2D, although that would look really pretty. You don't have to do that. I just want to be able to buy the games legally again and have access to the sequel legal. That's all I'm asking for. Why do you keep going back to the old well, right? Because they already did Tales of Symphonia recently, like last year, and now we're getting Tales of Graces F, which is I think the game that did come out after Tales of Symphonia, or there was another game actually in between there. I'm not sure. Tales of the Abyss, but that was a PlayStation 2 title, so that they're all in that same ballpark. Like Tales of the Abyss has a 3DS release for. I think it was a launch title actually for the 3DS or launch window for 3DS at the time. They're like, cool, it's fine. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It's a decent Tales game. I'm not gonna say that Tales of Graces F is a bad game. I'm just saying there are other Tales games in the past that are equally good and equally deserving of having a re-release or remaster. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, I talked about the new Atelier game, and they also dropped another remake that they just dropped in one of their trailers, and it's like a blink if you'll miss it. And it's like Trails of gosh darn it, I hate these names. I have it in my gosh darn Steam. Trails. It's a remake of the first Trails game. Trails of the Skies. Am I saying that correctly? Yeah. Trails of the Skies is getting a remake, like a full-blown 3D remake, or it got a full-blown 3D remake, and it's getting a localization. They just dropped it in there. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is a thing. It's like, why? Why would you not give that the time of day that it deserves over something like Fitness Boxing 3? Who cares about Fitness Boxing 3? Put that in the trailer reel and give a Trails of the Sky remake the proper dignity it deserves. Anyway, that being said, the last thing that they showed off in the Partner Direct was the big one for me, and that is Yakuza Kiwami finally getting a port to Switch. I'm so happy. I feel like I know the reason why it took so long for it to come to Switch, which is the original director of the series left Sega and took some of the senior staff with him to form a new studio owned by Tencent. And he always was like, yeah, Nintendo systems it's not the audience for the Yakuza Like a Dragon series, so we're not gonna do that anymore, because they did try. They put out Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 2 on Wii U back in the day, but it was a Japan only bundle, which never got localized, which makes me go like, yeah, of course it didn't sell well. You only released it in one region. What did you expect? Also, by that time, the original Kiwami was already out. So there was already an enhanced version of the first game out. Yeah, of course it wouldn't work, even if it is a bundle deal. So yeah, him being like, oh yeah, it's like for families, and the Yakuza series doesn't really fit on that. Dude, they made Bayonetta work. 2 Bayonetta games, by the way. Apparently that doesn't count for anything. So yeah, I guess now that he left, Sega has no qualms putting Yakuza on Switch. Although I wish they actually put in a little bit more effort, because there's no anti-aliasing and you see Jaggies everywhere. So it looks good, but the Jaggies kind of take you out of it and it reminds you it's running on Switch. I'm almost sure it could actually look better than it does if it was in the hands of like a decent porting developer. I don't know who did the port of Kiwami to Switch. If it's Sega internally, okay. I would expect them to have developers that know how to port a game to Switch, but I guess not. Well, at least not well enough. Or maybe it's just the limitations of the Switch and we just have to deal with the Jaggies. Because a lot of games do have that when they get ported to Switch. They don't have anti-aliasing turned on, and then you just have Jaggies. Some don't, but some, like most of them do. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is. But yeah, this one is coming out October 24th of this year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping that once the new system comes out, they either put out an update or they do some like DLSS upscaling or whatever that gets rid of the jaggies when you play it on that system. And I hope that enough people buy it on Switch to justify them bringing out Kiwami 2 and basically the whole Yakuza slash Like a Dragon collection to the new system. That would be really nice because I always felt that it's a perfect handheld RPG, and yeah, it would be great for that. So that's pretty much it. Again, like I said, there were many more stuff that were announced. Too much for me to cover in a half hour. So yeah, again, if you want to look it up, it is on the Nintendo channel of your respective region. Please check it out there or on the Nintendo website, or watch my live reaction on my YouTube channel. Link in the description. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you beautiful people for watching, listening. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting show, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Don't forget to give us 5-star reviews. It helps with the discoverability of the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more episodes, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, which notifies you when a new episode goes live. We're going to have more episodes coming out. I have a collab episode coming up very soon, so please look forward to that as well. If you're wanting to see where I'm hanging out, I usually stream Tuesdays and Thursdays on Twitch, twitch.tv/Maximilian_X. I'm also on Instagram at Maximilian_X on Instagram. The same goes for TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok that often though, but you can find me there. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I have and always will be Maximilian X. And I'll see all of you beautiful rivals next time. Later.